Hi there, everybody. Just adjusting my camera. I was feeling like I was a little cockeyed there. There we go. I'll sit right there. Hi, everybody. How you doing? It's great to be with you today. Thanks so much for joining with us. We're super excited. We've got a lot of fun today. As you can see, we've got somebody extra special with us that we're super excited to talk to. So anybody, if you're not familiar with who we are, I am Patty Quinn of Heart Hounds. And on the other side of the stage here, we've got Hillary Buchholz.
Hello, everybody.
She and I are the co-founders of Heart Hounds, and we love all kinds of wonderful dog things, and obviously show up here quite a bit. And we're happy to have you here with us today. And we have an extra special person with us. Yay! I'm so excited. She is darling and wonderful and super. We're super happy to have her here. Her name is Johnna Devereaux, and she is a clinical pet nutritionist, but she's also the founder of a wonderful holistic pet boutique in Rhode Island called Fetch RI. So thanks for being with us today.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Great. Well, so before we get started, we've got all kinds of fun topics that we're going to talk about today. Maybe just to give everybody a little bit of a background about who you are and all that good stuff. We'd love to hear your story on what got you interested in pet nutrition. If you could tell a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So first and foremost, I'm a dog mom. And so what that means is that my dogs are my babies and they mean the world to me. And so my first dog that I had as an adult, his name is Diego. I got him about 9.5 years ago. Well, he is 9.5, so it was about 9.5 years ago. And when I adopted him from the shelter, he came with a lot of issues. He had rashes all the time. He had ear infections monthly. He would have loose stool. He would vomit sometimes. And so what really started the trajectory of me diving deeper into nutrition and eventually becoming a clinical pet nutritionist was my love for my dog and my desire to make him as healthy as I could possibly help his body be, and make it so, I have a 22-year contract that is renewable with him. So I need to do my part in my contract and provide everything that is going to make his body healthy. So that's really what started it, was the journey of realizing that no matter what food I tried, no matter, what recommendation I followed, be it from a veterinarian or online, nothing was really working in the capacity that I wanted it to with Diego. So I'm a decades-long herbalist, and I really pay a lot of attention to what goes in my body. And, at one moment I got off that rat race, right? That mouse wheel. And I was like, wait a second, like that eureka moment, which is, oh my God, what is going in his body? What's in the ingredients?
Right.
All these different foods I'm trying, what's working, what's not working. And so I started down the rabbit hole that I now live in. I live very deep in that rabbit hole of canine nutrition. And for Diego, his body has reaped rewards. My other rescue is as healthy as can be. And so what ended up happening was that I realized that a lot of stores, now we're going back about 6.5 years now, there were very few small stores at that time. It's amazing how many have popped up over the last 5 or 6 years. And I'm so happy. And it's so great for our dogs that they have, that there are more store owners that are educated. But that's what started me. That's what made me open Fetch RI. So it's all my love for my dog.
That's wonderful. And it's so great that you provide, so not only helping your own pups, right, live the best life ever, but then providing access to all of that wonderful nutrition and, all those benefits that you're finding now with your store, Fetch RI in Rhode Island, to other people in your community. I think that's really a testament to your devotion and love and care and all that good stuff, that you're not only, doing that all for yourself, but just sharing that love with everybody. That's really kind of amazing. So thank you.
I mean, well, you're welcome. But to me, I feel like we're all put on this planet for a reason. It took me, a good part of my life to kind of navigate what my reason was. And I've realized that my gift I can share with humanity and with other animals, other beings, is this love that I have for nutrition and this,
Yeah.
intuitive way of being able to help animals and their bodies heal. And I'm able to communicate that with their pet owners in a way that is relatable. And they're able to put things into practice in a very easy way. So I deconstruct this crazy scientific language that makes you want to like your head spin. I make it easy to understand, and then it's easy to implement once you understand why you're doing it, and our animals benefit. So that's the gift I was given, and I'm glad to share it.
Oh, that's so neat.
That's amazing.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, and you've also been sharing that amazing wealth and that knowledge with Bow Wow Labs, which is another company that you're the nutritional expert at. And they've created, it's a really cool kind of snacking device that they created, which helps make bully sticks safer for their pups. So if you could kind of give us a little background on that company and why they were created, that would be awesome.
Bow Wow Labs is a phenomenal younger company that was created out of, again, another person's love for their dog. And I feel like every time a product or a company is created by the love for your dog, great things happen, right? So Bow Wow Labs was also started for the love of the dog. The founder's name was Scott, and he was giving a bully stick to his dog, which bully sticks have, a variety of beneficial reasons why we give them to our animals. But we all used to grapple with that last bit, tiny little bit when your dogs no longer have it in their paws and they just put it in their mouth. And I think all of us at one point in time hoped and prayed as the dog swallowed it that it wouldn't get stuck, that it wouldn't cause an intestinal obstruction. And unfortunately for Scott, his dog did swallow it and almost choked. Luckily, he regurgitated it, and so he's still with us. But it sparked the idea for this invention of how can I safely give my dog and how can other people safely give their dogs bully sticks without having to worry about that last 1 to 2 inches without the cause of choking or intestinal obstruction. So he created the Bully Buddy, and what it is a safety device that has a locking mechanism. So you actually take the bully stick and you screw in the side. And once it's screwed in, I can't pull this out. Your dog can't pull it out. And the bottom inch of that bully stick is inside this device, so they can't get at it. So once they bite down to the end and chew down, that's when you as the owner can remove it and throw it away, therefore removing any hazard. So that's really what started Bow Wow Labs. And our mission is to, let dogs be safe, let them be happy, let them be healthy. And so what we ended up doing was realizing, because this has kind of branched into other areas now, is we have these amazing hormone-free grass-fed bully sticks. And one of the great things about our bully sticks are actually called Safe Fit bully sticks, is that we hand select and right size each bully stick so that they match your coordinating bully buddy. So these come in 6 different sizes, from teeny tiny for your little Chihuahua to mega for your Great Dane. Right?
Oh my God!
Wow.
Big difference. But not all bully sticks fit all of these. And so for a lot of people, we spend money on our dogs and we want to do right by them. But if you're buying a package of bully sticks somewhere at a store or online, and you get 6 of them and 3 of them don't fit your bully buddy, most of us are not going to throw those bully sticks away. We're going to give them to our dogs anyway and do that finger crossed. I hope they don't choke in that last inch, even though you have the device. So what the Safe Fit bully sticks do are, it's a way to ensure that all of the sticks that you buy fit your size bully stick. So your size bully buddy, excuse me. So that's one of the newer products that we have. And we've also expanded into the treat line of Waggy wafers, which, sorry to do this, but I'm going to show them all to you right now as I'm talking about them. We have a turkey pumpkin, a chicken, and a salmon. And these are all USA made. Meat is the first ingredient. I'm a big fan as a nutritionist of limited ingredients. The fewer ingredients, the better. If you have a dog that has issues, you want to decrease the amount of variables that is going into their body. So if you're giving them a treat that has 20 ingredients and they have a reaction, you don't know what is causing the reaction. So the less ingredients, the better. And the Waggy wafers fit that mold. So I'm super excited about these. We have some other treats coming out soon this fall.
Yay!
That's
my
pretty cool.
parameters. And I'm tough. I'm really tough with what I accept. If I won't give it to my dog, I don't expect anyone to give it to theirs. So
Right.
I wouldn't ask you to. So Bow Wow Labs has been really wonderful in allowing me the forum to educate pet parents and to discuss, you know, what I consider to be the foundation of good health. Nutrition.
Right.
I mean, there are other elements, obviously, from a holistic standpoint. You have the mental, physical,
exercise,
and but it doesn't matter what you do if you're not good putting good food in, good ingredients in, then you can exercise all you want. It's not gonna make a difference, right? So I'm really blessed and very grateful that Bow Wow Labs has been so wonderful, and has such great products.
Yeah, the perfect partner. To help them. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Hi, Al. It's great to see you. Thanks for being with us today. Say hi to Missy in Alaska for us.
Hi, Al.
So we have, I guess one of the other questions, I'm kind of looking at my cheat sheet here. How long do, how do long-term chews benefit? So what is the benefit of the ballistic or longer chews for dogs?
So long-term chews have a variety of benefits for dogs. The most obvious is that it helps with dental health. Really, when a dog is chewing, it's helping to create saliva, and saliva is going to, there's an enzyme called lysozyme in the saliva that helps to fight bacteria. It also, as they are chewing, it's doing a gentle scraping, which helps to remove the biofilm, which then eventually turns into plaque. And it also allows them to strengthen their jaw muscles. A lot of us don't think about the fact that our jaw muscles are muscles that need to be exercised. And so it's instinct for dogs to chew. And this is a really natural way for them to have great oral health, engage those jaw muscles. It also helps beat boredom. So on super hot days or really cold days in the winter, when you're unable to maybe go outside on your normal walks or give them the normal exercise, this is a great way for them to mentally have to navigate how they're going to get this or any other long-term chew, but a bully stick, how they're going to navigate getting that into their belly. Right. And so they have to think about, you know, are they going, if they're using the Bully Buddy, which I would always encourage everyone to for the safety factor, you know, they put their paws on it, they navigate from side to side, change up chewing direction. Another great thing about long-term chews is that it supports a calm and healthy mental system. So the act of chewing actually releases dopamine and serotonin, which are two neurotransmitters that support a mental, oh my God, I can't talk.
That's okay.
I'm trying, I have so much to say, that supports a healthy mental state. And so that's going to encourage a sense of calm and healthy well-being in your dog as well. And it's an appropriate way to chew. Rather than a couch, rather than a shoe, this is an appropriate chewing source. And so whenever we have appropriate chewing options around, if you have a puppy, if you have a teen, right on like the verge where they're frustrated or they are bored and they're looking to chew because that's a self-soothing mechanism, you have an appropriate chew for them that is now providing all of these other benefits at the same time. So I can't really rave enough about them. These are also, going back to my earlier comment about ingredients, this is a single ingredient treat. So bully sticks are one ingredient only. They're high in protein. They're low in fat. So again, you can't really get better than
that. Do you have a kind of suggested time limit for how long you should allow your pup to chew with? It's like, do you take it away at a certain time limit or anything like that?
I recommend, in order to really get the benefits, you want to encourage chewing for more than 10 minutes. But I think after 30 minutes, it's a good time at that moment to take it away and then kind of put it away so that they can have another chewing session from it.
Well, and it keeps them excited about it too, right? If the time is limited, then every time it comes back out, it's like, oh, I remember this. This is really cool. I can't wait. It keeps it novel and fun and interesting, right? So, which is
well, and that 10-minute mark, I think, is really important too. Like if you're only giving it to them for that 5 minutes, you haven't really hit that sort of mental kind of calm you know, getting centered on it. So having that kind of breakdown is helpful.
It's almost like meditating. If anyone does that, the first 5 minutes you're trying to sit still, you can't sit still. You need the extra 5 to kind of get into that place. I feel it's exactly the same thing with the dogs. That first 5 minutes isn't really enough to get them settled in to that place where they're now kind of supporting a happy and healthy mental state.
That's great. That's great. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Dana. Thanks for being with us. Of course, we love Johnna. We love Johnna too. She's awesome, isn't she? So if anybody has any pet nutrition questions, we're going to, you know, hopefully not throw too many curveballs at Johnna, but feel free to type those in and we'll give you a second or two to do that. But she's been very generous with her time today and happy to answer any of those questions. And while those questions are coming in, maybe Johnna, you could talk a little bit about, you kind of mentioned some of the things in the future that Bow Wow Labs is looking to do. You've got new treat lines and stuff. I love the idea of having the smaller treat too, because sometimes you just want to have that little reward, right, for your pups and things like that, which is nice.
And the Waggy wafers, I love them because they're in this little cylinder shape that looks like a coin. I will actually open it up so you can see it. Okay. And I love it because I use the term all the time that you pay your dogs for good behavior or when they do something you ask them for. So it looks like a little quarter, if you can see that.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Color. Yep. And so they break in half really easy.
Oh,
and they
nice.
break in half, but they don't break apart in your pocket. So these are something that you can
bring those are awesome.
If you need like to have a high value treat that's going to be good for distraction purposes, if you encounter something out like a squirrel in the road or another dog or a deer, anything like that, you can have these in your pocket without worrying about having to then empty out your pockets and throw it right into the washing machine.
Exactly.
And they work really well. But what we have coming in the future, I can't really say too much yet, but
no, that's okay.
Really excited about it. It's going to be a single ingredient treat, unlike anything on the market now.
Oh, wow. Fun.
Yeah, it's actually, you know, sometimes you just wonder, how is it that no one's done this before? But luckily, Bow Wow Labs and we created this and we can't wait to launch it. And we're actually also coming out with a mental stimulation treat dispensing item. So it's actually going to fit these Waggy wafers.
Oh, perfect.
So it'll be another way that you can have one more tool in your arsenal to help your pup beat boredom. And as you both probably know, and your audience hopefully does, is mental stimulation tires a dog as fast, if not faster than physical stimulation. So it's a good way on a rainy day to get them tired.
Right. That's well, awesome. I love the idea of being able to break. So my husband and I have typically had dogs on the smaller side. And when we used to take our first pup, she was a beagle, her nose, it's not the squirrels necessarily or anything, like she would find like chicken bones that people would throw away, like people just tossing stuff like crazy. And we needed something to make the exchange, right? So it needed to be a really high value, something or other for her to drop whatever we want, that we were worried about or choking on or something like that. And so we always carried treats in our pocket. And it was great to be able to break them up because you don't want to be handing, if you're doing it a couple of times or, you want to be able to reward your pup more than once a day. Right. So it was nice to be able to break them up into smaller pieces. And then of course, at that point, all the neighbor dogs knew we had food supply on us and we became the best friends of every pup around, but which was a lot of fun too. But it's nice to be able to break them up into a smaller size and not have all those crumbs and bits and pieces everywhere, which I love. I think that's a great idea.
Well, and I have kind of an adolescent, so my Basset, Lulu, is still learning her manners as far as walking. So it's important to have something to let her know at the very beginning, then kind of keep on reminding her throughout the walk. So even if it's not necessarily her behavior that I need to change, it's just kind of keeping that consistent, like, I'm supposed to focus on you.
It's reinforcing their engagement with you. And that's really the basics when it comes to loose leash walking, right? Is getting them to be bonded and looking to you to see what you want them to do versus trying to make a decision on their own. Because when a dog, just like a toddler, tries to make a decision on their own, it usually is not the right one. So they should always be looking to us for direction. And so that's, having great treats is a really easy cheat that you can eventually work out of if you want to. I have no problem treating my dogs. You know, I don't over treat them, but I always have treats on me when we go on our walks because I never know what we're going to encounter. And I always want to set my dogs up to succeed.
Yes.
So I always have treats just in case. And if I don't use them on a walk, well, so it goes.
Exactly. All right. We've got a couple questions coming in. So what is the best balance between meat, carbs, veggies for a dog's diet? Is there a measurement you live by for the best nutrition?
So dogs are carnivores. So in a perfect world, you'd be looking at carbs, which would be coming from low starch veggies and fruits, which would be between 5 to 7% of their diet. And then you would be using protein from muscle meat, which would have inherent amounts of fat. It's actually the highest amino acid source is going to be coming from the muscle meat versus like the breast meat or other
leaner meats.
Other cuts. And that's going to be around 75% or so. And then you have to factor in bone and organs as well. So to say, you know, the perfect ratios, as far as I'm concerned, are going to be different depending on how you feed. You're never going to be able to find a dry kibble that's going to give you the ratios that are 100% in line with a carnivore diet, not because the companies don't want you to, but because you just can't create a food that is going to be formed in a kibble with at least 30% starch. So there is going to be a difference in ratios. It really depends on the type of diet that you're feeding. If you are trying to be as close in line to their carnivore natural way of eating, you would be looking about, like I said before, the 75% muscle meat that is inherent with the fat, and then the bones, organs, and about 5 to 7% low starch veggies and fruits.
Okay. Perfect.
I hope that answers that question the right way. It's just there's so many different ways of feeding, and I don't want anyone to feel like they're not doing the best that they can because we are limited by what we're able to afford and what's available to us. So there's a different reason for each. And so I always recommend that if you are feeding a dry kibble, try to find the highest protein content on the guaranteed analysis on the side of the bag, and make sure that the protein that's included in the guaranteed analysis is actually coming from animal meat and is not protein that's coming from legumes like chickpeas or beans. Also protein, but we want it to come from the appropriate source with the appropriate amino acid structure, which is going to be animal meat.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for that. So we have another question. My pup has been scratching, and we're trying to figure out if it's more seasonal allergies or maybe she's allergic to chicken, as I've heard a lot of doodles are. If we decide to switch her food, how should the transition go in terms of the ratio old to new food and its progression? Like over time, how do you get that complete transition? You know, and then what is that time period of the transition? And by the way, they love Bow Wow Labs.
So that's a really great question. It's kind of a loaded question. So I'm going to answer the easiest first, which is going to be food transitions. Whenever you're transitioning food, you always want to do a 7-day transition. So you're going to incorporate on day 1 and 2, 25% of the new food to 75% of the old food. On day 3 and 4, you're going to do an even mix of 50% new food to 50% old food. Day 5 and 6, you're going to do 75% new food to 25% old food. And then on day 7, you're going to be 100% all in on the new food. So that's the best way to transition the food and do it in a way that is going to be the least stressful. And I say stressful because depending on the ingredient profile and secondary ingredients with the foods, or the ingredients in the bags of food, there might be some GI distress just from the transfer. So that's the best way to do it and minimize any potential side effects like loose stool or flatulence, because we all know a farty dog messes up the whole house, right? So this is the way to do it. As far as itching, you know, that's kind of a loaded question. I personally do not tend to go directly towards it must be the protein source. I like to think of, on a holistic standpoint, looking at the body as a whole, but looking at the dog in front of me. So I would ask you, what has happened? And I know you mentioned that you're not sure if it's seasonal or year round yet. I'm assuming it's a younger dog. If it's a younger pup, did they just have a slew of vaccines? Because that could have compromised the immune system, which means they may be more susceptible to histamine reactions. So it may not necessarily be a long-term issue. It may be a short-term issue. But I would start to investigate around the time that the itching started, what was going on besides just seeing the scratching. Did you give a flea and tick? Did you happen to, did you move? Was it when the pollen was out? These are all indicators that we can then use as clues to try to determine what's going on with your individual dog. So I would recommend kind of doing an assessment, I'm a big fan of having a dog diary. So when you are trying to determine what's going on with your dog's body, we like to think that we'll remember. I don't know about you guys, but COVID, like 2 days ago feels like 3 weeks ago, but yet I can't believe it's almost August. So don't rely on your memory, write things down, write down the symptoms, and you might be able to start to see a pattern that then you can reach out and discuss with your veterinarian or another local trusted source that you have, a holistic veterinarian or whoever you refer to for your questions. But I really think immediately just jumping into it might be chicken isn't necessarily the answer. Out of over 1,000+ dogs that I've worked with, I think maybe actually 5 have actually had proven allergies. And I personally think it was a sensitivity to the soy that the chickens are being fed, not the chicken themselves. They're carnivores. So dogs as carnivores, we kind of have to think that their bodies are designed to eat meat. So I tend to find in my personal experience and anecdotally that more dogs have issues with secondary ingredients rather than a protein. Not saying and not dismissing that there are some dogs, of course, that do have issues with certain proteins. There absolutely are. But it also can be the quality of the protein, not necessarily the fact that it's chicken. A lot of dogs who have an issue with chicken in a dry dog food don't have an issue when that pet parent goes to the grocery store, buys chicken and cooks it, and then gives the dog the chicken. So you have to kind of look at it from a few different angles, if that makes sense for everyone.
Yeah.
It was a long answer, but I really could go on and on and on about this stuff because this is how we communicate and how we learn from our dogs. We have to just watch them and observe and fill in the blanks.
Right. So if, let's say you wanted to wait to change the food just to see if it was a seasonal allergy, right? You wanted to kind of test that out. What could you give your dog, food wise, or, I've heard coconut oil, like to help with the itching until you can kind of determine if it is a seasonal thing and you kind of, you know what I mean? You want to wait a few weeks to see. Is there something you recommend?
I'm going to kick in a few things here. So as an herbalist, I'm going to say, I'm a huge fan of adding nettle. Nettle is a natural plant that has a variety of uses, but it's really good at helping histamine reactions in the body. More than anything, I'm going to say strengthen their immune system, right? People with strong immune systems don't have allergies. So if they're showing allergies, then that's an indicator that their immune system needs to be strengthened. And one of the easiest ways you can do that is by adding some probiotics to the diet. Probiotics also have been proven to be able to lessen histamine reactions as well. So I would say if you're trying to determine if it is seasonal allergies, start incorporating some high quality probiotics, preferably with a few different strains. The goal being to diversify the flora, the microbiota in the microbiome, because the more diverse strains that you have, the more diverse the system's going to be and the healthier their system's going to be to fight off pathogenic bacteria. So I would say incorporate the probiotics first, and then we are about to start hitting Solidago season, goldenrod season. And so a lot of dogs have allergies. So this is going to be a good time. If you start now, you'll be able to hopefully strengthen the immune system and see if they are having those reactions. If the goldenrod is out and your dog isn't having an issue, maybe it isn't seasonal, because if it's seasonal, it's happening usually with the pollen and with with the way the plants are moving and the trees are kind of growing and going through their cycle. So these are the things to think about. I hope that answers your question.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
wonderful.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. So do you have a recommendation for a probiotic?
Yeah. I mean, can I say brands?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. I love Answers. Answers is, they have a fermented raw goat milk, which I'm a huge fan of. They also have a raw fermented fish stock, which is a little stinky. But again, if we're thinking about bringing in different strains, right?
Yep. Yep.
Sometimes the things we have to put up with for the health of our dogs.
Yeah.
We want to think about different strains. I'm also a big fan of Animal Essentials has a plant enzyme and probiotic. So that's kind of giving you two aspects. The plant enzymes are providing the cellulose to help the body break down carbohydrates, because as we all know, dogs don't have the amylase digestive enzyme in their saliva, which is what starts the digestion of carbohydrates. They do have it in the pancreas, but that's after the stomach.
Right.
So I would recommend those products, but I tend to personally like to stay away from probiotics that have yeast. There are a lot of dogs lately that have sensitivities to yeast. And so because your dog is itching, I would say if you can find a probiotic, and this is going back to the puppy, I apologize that I keep referring back to that. But for the puppy specifically with itching, I would say maybe try to find a probiotic that doesn't have yeast, just in case there is a sensitivity there to that.
Okay. Okay. And how do you, I've never purchased nettle before. Like where do you go get that? How is it in the seed form? Like, do you crush it? Like, how do you, where do you get it? How do you dispense it?
Nettle seed has different actions than what we're looking for the histamine reactions. We're looking for aerial parts being plants, not plants, the leaves. So you can get nettle in a powder form. You can get it in Animal Essentials makes a really great nettle in a glycerin. They call it glycerite, so you can put it right in the mouth. If you do get it by the powder, you can just add a little bit to the food depending on how finicky your dog is. My dogs, I don't know if I'm the most lucky person in the world, or if my dogs just trust me because I make them feel good. But my dogs let me put anything into their food. I mix it in and they gobble it up and they don't care. I have heard from several people that most dogs are not like that. So it's because my dogs trust me. But if your dog is one of those that is leery of anything new in the bowl, I'm going to say stay away from the nettle powder. You can get it in a capsule form. A human variety that you can get on Amazon would be Gaia herbs. They're phenomenal.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
GAIA. I'm very specific about where herbs come from, because you want to make certain that they have been harvested properly, grown properly, and grown in the right soil. Plants have a high ability to uptake nutrients in the soil, and the nutrients could also be heavy metals. So we want to make certain that the plants that we're putting in our body are actually helping and not hurting if they've been grown in the wrong area that has had, lead in the soil. So finding the trusted sources for herbs is huge. So Animal Essentials, like I said, Gaia, those types of things. You can Google and find a few of them out there. Those are just the ones that I can think of off the top of my head because I use them readily. So.
Okay, perfect. Well, unless anybody else has any other questions, I think we'll give Johnna a break. Thank you so much for, oh my gosh, all that vast knowledge and sharing that. It was fantastic. We're going to try and see if we can twist her arm and bring her back for some more. That would be wonderful to have you here. And then, by all means, if anybody is interested in the Bow Wow Labs products, and in particular the Bully Buddy stick, that is amazing. If you have a hard time getting your dog's teeth brushed, right? We know dogs don't like to have their teeth brushed, and sometimes as pet owners, you're afraid to get bit, or you don't want to make them uncomfortable. This is a great way to help keep their teeth clean, as well as all those other wonderful benefits that we talked about today. So there's a link in this post. Feel free to go out there and grab some. Get one for each of your pups, right? They get their own little personal toy.
You can't leave one of them out. And if I can just make a correction, it's not a toy, it's a safety device. We don't ever want to leave dogs unsupervised, with something that they can chew on, especially if a little bit of that bully stick is in there, even though you've clamped down hard. We're just really concerned with the safety of our animals. So
no, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yep.
Thank you for that correction. Yes. And it's just amazing. I mean, what a wonderful invention that helps, I'm sure, hundreds, if not thousands of families out there allow their pups to chew safely and enjoy their experience with bully sticks. So thank you so much, Johnna. Really appreciate the time today.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
If you have anywhere that you'd like people to send people, if they'd like to learn more about Bow Wow Labs or you or the Fetch RI, if you can kind of direct people, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. So bowwowlabs.com, it's BOWWOWLABS.com. That's where you can buy all of these products and learn about the new products we're coming out with, as well as read my weekly blogs that I post under the Wags to Wellness section of our website. So please go to bowwowlabs.com. Diego's saying goodbye at the same time. You can also, if you want to just check out my store, it's fetchri.com, and you can see the voices, the two barkings that you're hearing now behind.
Lola, Diego. That's wonderful.
It never fails. They always have to let themselves be known.
Well, they have to say hello to everybody. And one last fun little thing that we're going to do is we have a winner for promoting this this little episode, and the winner is Phoebe Simpson. So thank you, Phoebe. You get to win a bag of Waggy wafers, and they'll be on your way. We'll contact you through direct message and get all your information. And thank you so much for sharing it. And thank you, Johnna, for being with us today. Thanks everybody for watching. We're so happy to have you here. Take good care of yourself and hug your pups for us. Thanks. Bye-bye.